Welcome back, everyone, to ZumaFan. So I just saw the first episode for the newest sub-series to the Paw Patrol, Rescue Wheels, and how did I feel about it? Well, I didn't like it. Yeah, I know, coming from me, the person who just never seems to enjoy any of the new episodes of Paw Patrol, well, I'm sorry, I can't really help it when every new episode of Paw Patrol is just not good. And unfortunately, Rescue Wheels is a disappointment, much like all the rest. Now, of course, it could have worked, in fact, it should have worked. It just didn't. But even with my disappointment, I might as well go through the plot. So Adventure Bay is hosting this monster truck rally, and all of our favorite characters get to ride in Roxy's monster truck. Humdinger then shows up, and once again, Humdinger is back, and he's just as disappointing as he's been in pretty much every other episode of the Paw Patrol. The man just never has a life. The man never does anything. He is just around the town that he hates so much, and unfortunately, he is never going anywhere. But anyways, he sees his mom is in line to ride in Roxy's monster truck, and Humdinger gets upset because she should be more interested in him than Roxy. Meanwhile, we meet the new villain, Boomer, and he's just driving his monster truck randomly throughout Foggy Bottom, hitting into the empty buildings that fall down like cardboard. Boomer believes that he is the best monster truck driver ever. Humdinger and Boomer join forces, and they do ridiculous stuff to pad out the runtime of this episode, while the Paw Patrol race to the rescue to stop them. And yeah, that's basically the plot. Rescue Wheels pretty much just suffers from the same things that every other Paw Patrol episode has been suffering for a couple years now, which is you have a simple plot that could be done pretty okay, actually, but they throw a whole bunch of nonsense in there to pad out the runtime, and it just takes a very simple plot and just makes it just awful and quite ridiculous. And while I was watching it, I felt that there was no passion anymore for this series, and I think that you can really feel that. The animators are doing a really good job. The series looks really good, but I just don't feel like there's any passion in anything that is going on in the show anymore. I feel like every episode just kind of has the exact same plot or the exact same events that play out, and there's just nothing different about them, you know? Having Humdinger in every single episode doesn't help because, once again, he just kind of feels like the norm at this point. And so it comes across as the Paw Patrol not being able to trust the kid viewers to enjoy the episode that they're watching without some kind of villain doing something, you know? And it brings me back to season 1 of the Paw Patrol, where a lot of the episodes, yes, did have problems, but we didn't have a villain every 3 seconds on screen. It really was just simple things that would happen in real life, and they just had to deal with it. And I really did miss those times while I was watching this episode. The new characters, Roxy and Boomer, are just as bland as all the other new characters that we've been seeing over the past couple years since the sub-series thing blew up. Roxy is kind of weird because she's just there at the beginning, and we don't get a new introduction or anything like that. And a lot of the characters just act like they knew her this entire time. We had absolutely no idea. A lot of the times they actually address her as if she was part of the team from the very beginning. And I know that she's not, but it just comes across as weird, almost like there's a history between them that we never actually got to see. And so I didn't really feel anything for this new character. And her voice sounds very similar to Coral, which I found weird. But I do like her design. That's about the best I can say about her. I like that. But as a character, I just felt like there was something missing, and I couldn't really enjoy her on screen at all. And Boomer is very similar, but I do like Boomer's voice and his design. I think his design is really cool. I like the darker green and the lighter green, and the contrast between the colors. I do like his voice. His voice sounds very similar to some other actor. I feel like I've heard the kid's voice before, but I can't really put my tongue on it. But I get the feeling like I knew him, and his voice sounds really good. I really did like the voice. But as a character, I really don't know what's up with him, because he's just kind of driving around destroying stuff, and he just wraps tow cables around Adventure Bay buildings and just starts dragging them off to Foggy Bottom, which is completely ridiculous on every single level. I guess that is something that a villain would do, but at the same time, that is just not all possible. These houses do not have foundations at all. And I don't know, I just felt like the character was really weird. There wasn't really much to him. He just wanted to prove he's the best monster truck driver out of them all, and that's the only motivation that he has for doing anything. So I'm just really disappointed with the new characters. The introductions for them felt weird and off. Like I said, Roxy just is there at the beginning, and Boomer is just doing stuff randomly for absolutely no reason. So yeah, all that was really disappointing. And one of the most upsetting things to me is that we don't really have a justification for all the new gears and vehicles now. I look back at something like Mission Paw, and I can make up a reason as to why they would get this. You know, having a more closed off area like in the castle and in the city next to them, of course, with all the closed buildings, and there's underground like areas and tunnels, that having something like spy gear like what they have in Mission Paw makes sense. And even something like Sea Patrol, you know, there's going to be a lot of missions out in the sea that could use a lot of the other pups, but because they are restricted by their vehicles, they can't really do that. So having Sea Patrol, you know, the updated gear and stuff for the water makes sense. But now we come here to Rescue Wheels and we look at the Paw Patrol having monster trucks. It just doesn't make any sense, and there is no purpose for it. Because when you watch the episode, there's nothing about it, right? There's nothing special going on that their regular gear and vehicles couldn't just handle already. I guess like the main thing is Town Hall like sinking into a hole in Foggy Bottom. And having Sky's like flying monster truck, which is bigger than her regular helicopter, makes sense. But we haven't seen a character like Robodog in a while, and as we know, he flies the Air Patroller. And so the Air Patroller is much bigger than Sky's monster truck helicopter, so he could have just called Robodog over and just picked up Town Hall before it fell into the hole. So when you look at all the gear, the vehicles, everything here, and what we get in the plot, and the characters, and the actions, and everything that's going on, there really is no reason for the Paw Patrol to have this updated monster truck vehicles. It just doesn't make any sense why you would have that. So this is just a huge disappointment that they just have no explanations for anything going on. And I talked about the passion earlier, and I can even feel that in the acting. I don't know what it is, but for some reason I feel like the actors are just there, they're doing their job, and then they're walking away. I don't feel like that there's anything joyful about it, like they really do just show up, do their job, and walk away. And to be honest, if the show's going on for like 10, 11 years or so, and you've been playing the same character in like every single episode, it must get tiring. I feel like there's just no passion. The writers didn't even do a good job. They have an episode that I could have written well, I think, anyways. I mean, I'm not like the best writer ever, but give me some time and even give me the same plot as this episode, I could come up with a way to execute it better. But they just can't with this. I don't understand what the problem is. They just don't feel like they care. Nobody feels like they care while they're making this, and it's really upsetting to see as someone who does care about the characters, the story, and this franchise. It's upsetting to see that no one has like any passion. They're just kind of doing their job and walking away. And so when it comes to Rescue Wheels, the new characters, the story, everything, I am really disappointed and kind of upset. I was left sort of drained after watching it, and feeling a little bit hopeless. I don't know what it is, but this one really did disappoint me. And I just realized that almost everybody, outside the animators, I believe, and some of the music people, that there's no passion going on for the series right now. And you can keep making episodes, but they're turning them out like as if they're on a factory. And that's really upsetting to see. But I want to hear what you think about my opinion and the episode down below. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.